Welcome back. As we count down to the start of the vice presidential debate, we're taking a closer look at the participants, starting with Vice President Mike Pence, who has a reputation for being steady and calm, perhaps even boring maybe. But considering the president that he serves, that may be a good thing.
His temperament is very different than the president, which is interesting. He once referred to himself as like Rush Limbaugh on decaf.
The 61-year-old former representative served as the governor of Indiana from 2013 to 2017 and has led President Trump's transition team and the White House coronavirus task force.
It's interesting to watch him be a counterpoint to the president. The president tends to be much of this kind of larger-than-life figure. And Mike Pence, he's been a former governor, so he gets the political dynamics, and he's very smart. He understands the political world, but he's also very mellow, very soft-spoken.
He is one that's been through the political circles, been through the gauntlet several times, and really understands the political process. He is steady and time-tested. And sometimes what you want in your vice presidential candidate is that calm presence. You want the boring figure sometimes. You don't want them to try to outstage the president either, but sometimes you just need someone that goes in a room and just calms things down. From the Republican side, that is the role that Mike Pence has played, and I think it's what he's going to play going forward.
The evangelical Christian is popular among Utah Republicans, receiving warm welcomes here during a campaign stop in 2016.
Governor Gary Herbert, everybody. Isn't he something?
And during a visit last year to meet with business leaders and apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
That he's a man who wears his faith and his beliefs on his sleeve, in a sense. And I think the people like him here in Utah because his style and his demeanor paints a pretty stark contrast to the president. He's not as polarizing a figure, and yet he's also very determined and grounded, and it's clear where his principles are.
I think people in Utah in particular and other parts of the country look at him as being someone who sort of softens that ticket, that is the person that represents their values, which helps them maybe appreciate the ticket even more. Mike Pence has been a regular visitor to the state of Utah.
Well, hello, Utah!
And I think it's because he is representing the part of the ticket that Utahns would appeal to most. He talks about his religious values, the more moderate approach that he takes. He has been sent here more often than we have seen a vice presidential candidate for some time because I think he appeals more to the Utah Republican voters.